Hey, everybody, welcome out to the finals match here for Earth, here on the World Series of Board Gaming. My name's Chris Yee.
I'm Z Garcia.
So, after going through the semifinals, a few rounds of Earth today, we're here at the finale. We have three contestants at the table.
That's right. One of them, that would be Damien, has never been at one of these tables before, whereas the other fellas certainly have, and they have rings to prove it. It's going to be a very interesting fight here. We spoke to these gentlemen before we began here, before they sat down, and it was very interesting to get a read on all of them, but very much the main takeaway is these guys, PJ, Damien, and Nick, all really, really want this. So it's going to be an interesting drag-out fight. Looking forward to it.
This is the same Nick that just won Arnak yesterday.
That's right. If you've been tuning into those live streams, you saw that ring ceremony, so you saw him take his ring, and in fact, that's his third. He's been to 8 of these finalists' tables and has 3 rings, possibly a 4th. At the end of tonight.
Yeah, like you said, Damien, this is first time making it to a final. Not only that, but first time making it to a semifinal even. So
That's right, yeah.
So he came straight through. Last year didn't make it to any. So I'm excited to see what this is going to look like out on the table.
Yeah, they're going to be setting up here soon. They're dealing out some cards, getting everything ready. They have that central board ready to go. And in fact, we ourselves have those cards here in front of us. So if we want to reference anything, we can do that. We have seat 1 there with PJ, seat 2 is Damien, and seat 3, Nick.
So one thing while they're still getting set up here, you see there's a little ticker tape on the bottom. If you want to come and compete, or if you want to come to the World Series of Board Gaming and just go to the open play area, I've been having so much fun being in 0 tournaments so far.
Yes, it's been very good to play without that pressure and that stress, and I still feel like a winner, even though I don't think I've won anything, but, you know.
Yeah, the open play area is very, very impressive, so you can register and get a little bit of an early bird discount. You can see the information there on the ticker tape going below.
Still burning one, right? Sure.
All right, so let's see.
All right, we are getting everything ready on the table. I was talking to PJ, and he said that opening hand for him was going to be particularly important. It's interesting, and I'm sure you could say this for many of these players that play at not just this game, but many of them. But they know these cards inside and out. So he said, "Yeah, I basically know most of the cards by heart."
Z, what does the Talamanca hummingbird do?
That's the one that goes like this, really fast.
Really bad. Did you know that? It weighs on average less than a nickel.
Yeah, they're very tiny.
Yeah, I wasn't reading the cards that we have set up in front of us.
Oh, we have cards in front of us. Look at that. Didn't know that.
So you can see the scoring objectives there in the middle, the ones that they're racing for, and then over on the side the objectives, the endgame ones there. So.
But yeah, no, he said that he was really, that opening hand was going to be a big part of the game for him. So we might see him either weep openly of joy or maybe of sadness.
Well, I mean, if he has any bit of a poker face, I don't think we will.
That'd be amazing. The same poker. The same poker, kids. It's Earth. You're allowed to cry in Earth.
There's no crying in baseball. There is crying in Earth.
Yeah.
I actually played with some folks who were in the Phoenix tournament. So for players who get knocked out of any of the tournaments that they're in for the day, they can go do a buy-in for the Phoenix tournaments, right? Rise from the ashes is the whole idea there. And even playing someone who got knocked out in round 1, I got wrecked in Earth today.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's good level players, but at the same time, everyone's very welcoming, very just open for having fun. Oh, look at this! Nick is getting his cards selected here. I guess they have little shields.
Yeah, I guess so. That's interesting.
Huh. Okay. When you get your opening 3 cards, right? You have like your landscape, and you have the different ones that you can choose from. Do you tend to look for the ones that have higher victory points right from the get-go, or bigger card draw?
I think I don't worry too much yet about the victory points at this point. There's so many cards you are going to see.
Yeah.
I want something that feels like I can keep whipping. I can keep utilizing that thing. Whatever it's going to Either I can get there quickly and actually achieve that thing, or I can keep sort of using that thing,
With like the opening things that they're racing towards right now, for example, one of them is the Andean Condor, the brown card at the bottom right of the central board. Have 20 plus cards in your hand.
Right. So for that one, absolutely, you want to be drawing those cards.
Yeah, having big draw your hand of cards right from the beginning, and then the fewer cards you compost. That's obviously an advantage, but also then favoring what are you going to do early? Probably things that give you more card draw. Yeah, so you can see the Andean Condor popped up on the screen there. It's so interesting that just based on the setup here, even me, I don't consider myself a very accomplished player of this game. I feel so much drive towards one kind of path or other.
Right.
So yeah, for these players, like you said,
Well, you would never go for 20 cards in your hand if this card wasn't out there, or if you had nothing to do with it. Why hoard that many cards? But yeah, with it out there, it will change what they're going for, the things they are considering, and of course what they're taking and keeping. It is interesting. I was talking to, let me see, who was it that said that he hadn't played basically at all, except online, and just played. Was it Nick who said that?
yeah, Nick who said that he's only played on Board Game Arena.
He's basically played on Board Game Arena since they announced it last year. Well, early, almost a year ago, they announced Earth was in it, and he then started playing. He never played the game before. Started playing on BGA, and the first time he's ever played Earth in person with cards and components was here at this event this week.
Yeah, people can train in different ways.
It seems like BGA is a big it's a training field.
Asset. Yeah,
They've all played. I think it sounds like they've all kind of played with each other on BGA too. So that happens a lot. That high level competition. I hope I never stumble in there and just get massacred.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Board Game Arena uses like the ELO ratings and stuff like that. So, I'm not playing against PJ on there.
Right. It's not going to happen.
Anti-mulch for drawing some cards, and Batanta Island for italic stuff, colorful stuff, Hawaiian
For colorful stuff.
Your cards up.
Okay, and colors is one of the things that they're racing with that Telemanca hummingbird, which you did not know, embarrassingly, what
Yeah,
it did.
no, I knew it was tiny. That's all I knew.
Yeah, and so yeah, it says you race to be the first person with 3 or more flora with a color in the name of the card.
Right.
So if you can kind of synergize one of your opening picks with something, that already mixes with the middle, you should hopefully be off to the races.
Absolutely.
Even Anastasia in the chat said, "This is the first time I've seen Earth in person." So yeah, Board Game Arena is a legitimate training ground for so many
Absolutely,
things.
yeah.
See, so yeah, with their opening setup, by the way, just to clarify, they were each dealt 1 card. So instead of the normal, I believe it's normally you get 2 of each of the categories and you kind of pick from among them.
Right.
It was just 1 card, and then they choose the combination of the sides.
I do love the rings there next to Nick on the table. He's just got his 3 rings sitting there menacingly. Have you noticed that? That subtle intimidation. I love it. It's very subtle, but he's definitely got the 3 championship rings sitting on the table in front of the other 2 players.
Yeah, if I had a hat trick, why not,
You
right?
put it out there, absolutely.
Yeah, I know a lot of people too will, like have the ring on and kind of do this little move here. Oh, interesting.
Show it off, yeah. You'll also notice they're playing on those play mats from inside up, and obviously you don't have to decide where your cards are locked at the beginning, so they'll use them, but then they can shift those cards around until that grid is set, and those cards are locked in place.
4 wide, 4 tall. Yeah. Do you enjoy playing with the playmats yourself when you play?
I don't. I think it looks good, and we're using it on camera because it gives us a centralized location where they'll put their cards. But I like that freedom of not knowing which way it's going to go. If I put it somewhere on the grid in my head, it's there.
You kind of lock it in
Kind
when
of
you don't have
sort of subconsciously lock it in.
Yeah.
So no, I don't generally like that in this. I don't like using that. I think the playmats are fantastic for this game. The personal ones hinder me a little bit. And I'm such a high level player that I can't be locked in.
Yeah, I'm sure that they've gotten past that. Well, actually, I mean, to your point, right? Having never played physically in person
Yeah.
until today, I'm sure that's going to be, that might be a thing that Nick has to go, okay, reminding myself,
Yeah.
Since you're the active
I
player.
put this in the top left.
I
It's
think
not there.
personally, if it was me, honestly, what I would do is, until I know which four, if I have four tall or four side by side, I would set them off the grid on purpose. I might put it in like in between spaces because it still is on the screen. We can still see it, but then your brain doesn't lock it in.
All right, I think that we're off to the races. So first action appears to, yeah, so it appears that they are planting. I'm curious to see what they're going to do. When I played earlier today, some of the folks went a very planting fast strategy. It was one of the quickest games of Earth that I've played in terms of number of turns because, I mean, just multiple people kept choosing the top left action they're planting, just one after another.
Yeah, okay.
I like Smack Dave's comment here. So yeah, 3 championship rings on the table might be intimidating, but nothing quite as much as having an open container of liquid on the table.
Right.
That's
how you do it. Bring a cup and set it it by your side of the board.
bring a goblet of wine. Let's see here.
Yeah, we got Steven here saying, dang, Nick made another final table, and indeed he did. This is his 8th. The entirety of the World Series of Board Gaming.
Whose setup is this that we're looking at? This is PJ's right here, I think, right? Okay. Yeah, PJ starting with 2 red, the red banners. That's nice. That's really nice. I know that Nick was saying his personal play style is to try to get a lot of banners in a lot of different colors. That way, no matter what other people are doing,
You're getting something.
you're getting something.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Constant influx of small bonuses is nicer than just the random deluge, the Florida rainstorm of bonuses once and then dry for 20 hours.
Absolutely right. That's a good idea.
Okay, so Damien, starting off with two played cards there. Once again, but I love the multicolored bonuses for that same reason. Even if they are kind of smaller bonuses, if they're firing off almost every turn, unless say your opponents do nothing but choose the play cards action,
Right.
And 2 cubes for every cold I planted. 4 cubes. Yep.
We should talk about these tables while we're at it as well. These are game theory tables, and every tournament you've seen, by the way, has been at these tables here. And I believe we have a little. Do we have a little promotion for them? So we have a little video that we can show you actually, and discussing these game theory tables. They have them everywhere out here. They're fantastic, but we can take a look at a quick video and see a little bit more about them. All right, so there's that code. There's that code for you if you want to get yourself one of these tables. They are something else.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like it's kind of fun to see the 4 tables where all the championships are being played. Of course, we're streaming 2 of them, 2 of the finals championships each night. There are 2 other ones which are being recorded all around, and then Chris from the World Series of Board Gaming and other folks are going to be doing commentating for those, and then I believe that's still the plan this year. Like last year, those were posted up separately.
Yeah, you can see them later.
Right. Yeah. If you want to see high-level brass Birmingham plays or anything like that, that's a great way to do it.
Let's see.
Yeah, see, once again, Nick has chosen play cards, right? So they're early, just kind of getting those things out there rather than worrying too much about, I don't know, focusing on anything else, even
Yeah, they need those cards out first, right? I mean, that's what they're doing. Get those bonuses out, get some colors out.
Variable land. Okay. Clamshell Orchid for 1. Make sure it's
There
around.
we go.
Yeah.
3 cards out already. Yeah, this could be a quick game.
We like it. Going to draw state.
Yeah, and relatively inexpensive, double build there. One of the things I know that Nick says he tries to focus on is getting cheaper cards out just quickly because of that. Get bonuses fast. Why sit there and look at a 13 soil, 15 soil cost and say, oh, soon I'll get that. Get some bonuses now first.
Yeah, I'm very bad at that when I play. I definitely like to, sort of dig into something that I should have just let go a while ago, but I'm dug in now. I will get this card built, be it in this game or anything else.
Yeah, you get them out quick. It also kind of sets the tempo of, is this going to be a quicker game or are we going to kind of slow roll this? But yeah, get your bonuses out quick.
Spice, and then I could choose if I wanted to exchange that spice, or I could only exchange the spice that I have. So I played the word.
We'll take this guy.
I'm taking.
The discard.
Go.
This triggers twice.
I'm gonna go
4 cubes.
here. Yeah, I haven't done it.
You don't do anything until you're
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking to Nick as well, and he said that everybody he felt these guys, speak very highly of each other. They've all played with each other, and Nick was saying, that he
Trade, or do I have to trade then?
he was giving everybody at the table like a 33% chance of winning. Is the way he felt. PJ thought he would win. He was still very lovely and still said great things about the other guys, and they really do clearly admire each other. That the level of play here is, at sort of an untouchable level. But he felt pretty good about this. He was worried about the the RNG of the game, right? Because there's so many cards, a sort of random number generator concept in the game, very tactical. But he thought he would take this one, and he really wants to. They all do, of course, but he's defending a Cascadia ring tomorrow, PJ, that he won last year, and he really wanted this one even more than that Cascadia one.
So 2 soil.
Yeah, I mean,
3 is any time.
it's got to be such a great feeling of being able to say you're like a multi-ring person, being being a triple threat in the acting world.
Right.
That means something rather than like I have been in a lot of movies, like having that diversity of skill set, and
The trees are
bragging rights, But he is currently the 6th highest rated player of Earth on Board Gamer, PJ. That's.
Yeah, there is.
I suppose I could have some confidence going even to a high level play like this.
Yeah. I'm not yet ranked.
Sometimes they like to hear your
Working on it.
I'm working on it. Are you crazy?
I got the rule book right here. I'm figuring it out. That's not quite true either. You did play recently, though. You said you played yesterday. Was that yesterday or today?
There's today.
How did you do in it?
Like in terms of how, like overall score wise and
How
stuff.
did you do?
It was a lower scoring game. The winner had 135 points.
Okay.
Which, once again, is kind of a question of tempo, right? You can have those slower games, more methodical games that get to 200 plus.
Yeah.
135 winner. I was in like the 110 range.
Okay.
And everyone else was kind of comfortably closer to the leader. That's, I consider myself to have held my own a bit.
It's pretty good.
I jokingly say I got destroyed, but I did get triple-digit points,
Yeah.
which I felt good about that at least.
And then I gain 2 growth.
Let's see.
Thank you. We're gonna go.
There we go. Smartly utilizing their starting cards. Got some growth going there.
And activate this and gain 3 soil. Nick.
It is surprising how much
And I pass this to you.
just real variability there can be in strategy. You can kind of focus on doing it all. You can kind of really shotgun focus on just
Soil getting heavy, like a lot of growth, right?
yeah.
Cheap cards, like you were saying.
Right.
Every color, having a lot of colors. It is interesting. For this game, it's very different than. There's some other games that these players can come into it with that strategy. That this is how I win X game. This is my strategy. This is how I tackle it. And other people might study that strategy and try to pick away at it. I feel like in Earth, they really do have to react to what they've been dealt, how the other players are playing, what they've got available to them. So while clearly the better players continue to lead, they cannot repeat what they've done in the past. It just doesn't work.
I'm not sure if I like that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's funny to see sometimes you'll play and have almost none of the sprout cubes, the green cubes out there, which are just an obvious easy point.
Yeah.
1 point each,
That's
right?
him.
But if you're just never really getting abilities that benefit you from spending them to get other huge benefits and stuff, then maybe you don't need to focus on them until kind of later in the game. They will come, right?
Pretty cool.
But yeah, so I'm curious to see what Nick has in his hand, and he got those growth out there really fast.
Earth or planet themed board game. What do you guys think?
Does Terraforming Mars count?
Yeah. No, planet themed.
They're being a little silly, being a little jovial, which is always lovely to see as well. They're playing very carefully, and they're very careful when they take anything. They put it on that board in front of them, so it is shown. When they pay it, same thing. They're also, just playing a game. At the end of the day, having a good time, playing a board game.
Oh,
These guys have been stressing about this all day. It's nice to see them get in a chuckle and hopefully relax a little bit and enjoy.
Yeah, Joe, is Earth a planet-themed board game like Terraforming Mars? Well, it's
are you able to see
You have
mine?
big long arms.
yeah, table banter when there's a lot on the line.
So that way.
That's nice to see. That's nice to see. They're all very, very nice guys, and like you said, PJ was confident, but it's also deserved confidence, and there's no disrespect at all to to saying these guys all deserve to be there.
No, I agree. Yeah, in fact,
I can do that.
we sat down and talked to all these guys separately, and sat down with Damien, who I don't know if I would say he's the underdog, but he is the one that is newer to this. Doesn't have a ring. I guess you could title him the underdog. And he was telling a story that he played with PJ and lost by 1 point. This was last year, I think.
I think this was last year's Cascadia.
At Cascadia, and it was like, he got knocked out, but he lost by 1 point. He would have had the tiebreaker. So he told that story. He was excited to play against PJ again here. And then sitting there with PJ, he told the same story about him. He said the same thing. Oh, yeah, Damien, he's really good. He almost had me. I won by 1 point, but he would have had the tiebreaker. So they really do respect each other and enjoy that high-level competition.
What are you supposed to do? Like you mark.
You're
like,
supposed to
that.
go, yeah, like
It'd
this.
be like he chose this thing.
Yeah. I kind of wish there was one extra, because if you use all 5, because you've got the tableau
that
bonus,
point-
then I can't second any actions.
Yeah,
Is that
exactly.
how?
That's like PJ's talking about how do you track, right, which action you've selected, and much like they're doing here with that little cute fox token, right? I've always used that to kind of designate. He says, well, they provide those 5 leaves there. 4 of them are supposed to go onto the objectives as you complete them. The 5th one is if you are the person who completes your 4x4 grid, you complete all 16 cards, you put it over there on the central board to get the 7 points. And he says, yeah, technically this is what you're supposed to use, but once you have all 5 of them out there, you don't have it anymore.
Right.
That's not a concern I often have.
I don't need to worry about it. I'm gonna have some leaves left over. Yeah.
I hope you viewers at home are having a wonderful night.
Get another gross.
If you're watching live, it's like what, probably 9:30 right now, 9:20.
One thing I'm very curious about. So one of the scoring objectives over here, the Beliling Mountain ecosystem, is 6 points per column that you have, each with a different type. So every one of the cards has to have a different type. So tree, shrub, mushroom or fungus,
Right.
landscape are kind of their own things. So I'm curious to see how that's going to affect the builds here. A lot of players tend to undervalue the terrain cards.
Yeah.
Is something that they were talking about with us. That those terrain cards tend to not, for example, mix with objectives like have 3 or more flora with a color in their name.
Right.
If you have a landscape,
That is me. So I
the
pass
guard
this.
area, like canyon, that's not going to
gonna
work towards that
help with that.
objective. But that card itself might
sorry.
have its own scoring condition, could be worth 15 points.
Right.
So if you, instead of grabbing the 15-point central, the first person to complete that objective, instead of your second or third, you're getting 11 points, plus your own personal 15 there.
Right.
So people tend to undervalue terrains, but in a setup with this card in it, once again, just that central board setup.
And they'll be paying attention to that. Well, we know we have with the cards they have out there right now. There's 3, and then 2 cards, and Nick is the only one who right now has 3 cards in a column. So it's very possible he's making a push for that. There's certainly a reason why these guys will set the cards the way they do, and it will have to do with these things or the cards they have on their personal boards.
Yep. And speaking of, Nick is taking the planting action. So he's going to be looking to put out 2 cards. Probably wouldn't choose that if you were only going to get the benefit of it once. You're better off kind of choosing something different.
He's going through his cards, figuring out what he's going to do here.
Look at that terrain. He's looking at
How many cards do you have in hand, Nick?
Now or after I play?
2 cards go out in front of him.
Just right now.
7 now.
All right.
yeah.
I'm at 8.
Diplomacy, the Death Commando,
Checking with each other how many cards they're holding because they know that 20 plus is one of the objectives.
yeah. That's got to be it's got to be hard because you don't want to hoard early game and
Right.
lose out on bonuses, but being the first person to get those 15 points for that day in Condor, getting to have 20 cards in hand, it's nothing to
Right.
scoff at
Right,
either.
right.
I'll tell you, yeah, if I had yellow banner abilities that give card draw, I would be looking for those. I would be trying to focus and really sit there and think, do I want to be doing much composting from
not the
hand?
celery. Oh no.
Because
It's definitely not something that's going to be happening right now. They are holding on to them. Once they get over that hump, they check that box, then sure they can go ahead and compost all those cards. But for now, they're going to be checking on each other's hand sizes and worrying about that.
yeah,
So he's got 2 cards out. He's at 5 cards on the table already.
Okay, I think we're correct there.
All
We'll
right.
do our draw 4 off the top, please.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Kindly.
4 new cards.
I'm always afraid that the cards are going to slip. Be like,
Brighty is the judge here today, sitting at the table. So appreciate all the folks behind the scenes making all these games flow and making them all work. The streaming team.
3 trigger ones.
I mean, obviously, we all saw there was some camera flickering, and you better believe they were on it instantly.
Right.
We have this stable feed now, and it's just, yeah, the amount of work that they've been putting in has been great.
Yep, lots going on behind the scenes that
Thank you.
you don't get to see, but
All right.
we're certainly thankful for.
I'm playing.
So that's a close-up shot there of Nick's tableau, or some of the cards there in it.
Where do I want to put it?
Yeah, once again, that red banner action there, the
Played the
winter
card that I kinda
green
like, so-
Barbary.
Mm-hmm.
That's both working towards the color
Celery? I thought you said
name in it, but also the card draw.
No, not the celery.
Yeah, every one of those I would be trying to focus it, because even if I never hit the 20 cards,
True.
just
Sorry,
card
you don't
flexibility
Right.
is huge in this game.
And if he finds he drops below the point where continuing to push for 20 is worth it,
I see.
because the other two players have done it at the table, maybe the return is no longer worthwhile, then pivot. Right? There's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of reacting in this game of pivoting.
Could we on our side see that a little bit bigger here, PJ's tableau?
Yes. Okay. Locking that in, paying my 4 soil. 4 soil, okay. And then I get to draw.
Just
a
spending
card
his
from the
soil
back.
there.
Action.
Good.
I get no fancy cube generating abilities like you guys do. And then
Sounds like he's not loving his setup so far, actually. Maybe he didn't quite get the cards he was hoping for. He did. I don't know if he told you this, Chris, but PJ revealed that he, because of he was worried about that RNG in this game, he set up a little shrine at home where he pulled out the cards that he was hoping he would be dealt in the game at any point, especially early on in the game. And he did a little willing the universe to provide. Put out a little shrine, so we'll see. We'll see if it worked out for him after the fact here. But he was working every angle, including some. Would you call that supernatural angles? I don't know, mystical angles. We'll call them.
I mean, there's definitely the old saying that there's never a more superstitious bunch of people than sports fans.
Right.
Right. Or really, even though we say sports, just competitive.
Particularly, yeah, right. I think at this point you can call this, at this level of play, it's the same thing, like you're saying. It's that feeling of having traditional things, having traditions and superstitions and things they like to do to get ready.
Yeah, it's professional gaming. Or,
Right.
Okay, so that's one of that's one of PJ's cards there. That's the gray reindeer lichen. So yeah, getting some early soil income.
That's right.
See, and once again, selecting card build. Yeah, I mean maybe PJ likes a few cards in hand more than he let on.
Well, he is the one who asked how many cards everybody was holding, so he's definitely making that push.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that.
everyone locked in? All right.
I wonder too, right? So actually,
I'm gonna be spending a total of
this is just a question on the organizing side. I believe that these were randomly selected, the scoring objectives and stuff in the middle. I don't think that it was necessarily planned beforehand.
I get one
I
back.
do know that they are all the same when they play. If I'm not mistaken, I was walking around sort of recording a little bit of what was going on behind the scenes, and when they were setting up Earth, the bride who happens to be judging this was sort of standing up on a table, on a chair, telling everyone what cards to look for in their game to set out. So they do all get the same ones at every table. And I don't know if these four are those four, or these six, if they're new, randomized. I assume they're randomized for this game. But everybody does play with the same one.
Right, yeah, the first match and the second match and the semifinals. Look at that, PJ claiming the first one there, the Talamanca Hummingbird. So he's got
So he's got the flora with the color in its name in italics. He's got 3+ of those, okay. And then still making that push for the Condor with 20 cards or more in hand.
Yes, I think down.
Yeah, he's aware. He's trying to run out of those leaves. He knows.
Okay, do that.
Yeah, that was him predicting earlier. When I run out of my 5 leaves, I won't know how to track my actions anymore.
Exactly.
Either. Cool.
What are some great sports superstitions out there? I know there's always when I watch my sports team play, I have my pair of socks.
Right.
You know?
The lucky socks is definitely a thing. What would be a good board gaming when that's the thing, Something you wear, certainly, but like a seat, that's my seat, you know, where I sit at.
Discard these 3.
Tapping a deck of cards before you draw from it, that'd be a good one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
2 cards.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I've seen
Like
that.
very gambling kind of thing. It's like, oh, here we go. Come on, give me what I want.
So, I'm going to have to go on an assumption here about one of these comments that we see in the chat.
All right.
Life with Zoe says, I'm looking at PJ's shrine. He unfortunately does not have the cards that he was hoping to manifest that he placed in the shrine. In fact, Nick has several of those cards. So I'm going to go on a limb here and say that Life with Zoe is someone that lives with PJ or was able to break into his house really easily.
Yes, that's a fair assumption.
And I'm gonna pass. For you folks at home, there's
it's
exactly
an interesting
one
comment.
deck that lets you draw from your
Very,
combo
very
spot.
interesting comment to
So,
see that. But I'm glad that he's getting support from back home, or that this, you know, B&E is being very thoughtful
Two soil,
to show up here and support.
gain 2 soil, and then pay the 2 soil. Thank you.
Oh, even in the landscape cards, Nick has the Extinct Volcano, which is something that PJ was open for.
Oh, okay, okay. They've now all got the same number of cards out, it looks like, so those tableaus are developing at about the same rate.
Not cold. That's my green.
There's that Extinct Volcano for you.
Oh,
Whoa, the
Earthquake.
earth just shook.
You cannot choose the red action. Yeah, that's
Fault line.
it's a risk to kind of hamper yourself an entire action at the beginning. And if the other players know how to respond to that and deny you that,
Card off the top, please.
but yeah, it really. Well, obviously, looking at PJ's tableau, his starting tableau, as well as the cards he's building out, he's leaning into that red bonus.
Right.
So I'm curious how those two are going to end up kind of butting heads, so to speak, in the most Earth board game way possible.
Sure.
And then you could,
Pick the red.
same with like,
Do it.
3 people jumped.
during what game?
Art Nova.
Art Nova. Yeah.
who was that?
It sounds like Damien's being very quiet. I wonder how he's feeling at the table here with these two champs. He was telling me his favorite game is actually Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar Galactica is his favorite game.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Very different from Earth.
Far out to find.
Very thematic game. Very long game in many ways. Much longer than Earth, even at these competitive levels, can be. So yeah, interesting.
yeah. It's such a different.
Tableau. Spend.
It's so interesting to see how people can be talented across so many different games. And the World Series of board gaming obviously kind of requires that of you. You know, if you're someone who doesn't tend to play Brass Birmingham or dislikes Earth, you're still going to play those,
Yeah.
and you're still going to spend time learning. Learning what are some of the metas, some of the early blunders to kind of get past, which.
Can't just keep spots for
Yeah.
later.
I might fall into that ditch every once in a while myself, and that's okay.
Well, it goes to show you also that these games, the games that are part of the event here, many of these other games that these gentlemen will like, are
Soil and
incredibly well built. You know, these successes that you'll see from these champs, they're repeatable. That's why you have repeat winners and why you have the same few people who end up at the top. Because these games are wildly strategic. You know, they're thoughtful, they are well made, they are, the structural integrity of these games is commendable.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
One more soil.
But this one's in.
I will neglect to mulch it.
So Life with Zoe says, I'm his girlfriend, LOL. The shrine is actually in our hotel room.
It's a mobile shrine.
It's a mobile shrine. Just fold it up and take it with you. That's the best kind of shrine, I find.
I think so.
You want to take your shrine with you.
Thank you.
I mean, nothing more embarrassing than before you leave
Right.
for a big tournament saying,
They're
like,
like,
Roll
oh,
over to
I
Nick's
forgot my
side.
shrine.
right. It's not going to fit in the luggage. I'm already overweight
Right.
on the bag's already past weight, so.
The life hack, folks, when you're building a shrine,
Wait.
Make sure you can take it with you.
Technology. Yeah.
One of my favorite things in the live chat here is seeing, because these players play so much online and they have, that respect from even other players. You see, Megan Brunner here says, "I do hope PJ wins because it'll make me feel a lot better about all the times I've lost to him."
Canopies look prettier.
Yeah, that would be validating. But the fact that, and I really just, I really would like to emphasize that all three of these players absolutely deserve to be here at the finals, and that alone is such a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nick's gets 3 soil there and 2, 3 cards on red, and then PJ gets soil.
I'm gonna pay for water.
They're pushing that.
Plant.
No surprise.
We've also got 6 cards already in front of Nick there. He's really, like you were saying, he's favoring those smaller builds,
Yeah.
getting them out, building them, getting something on everybody's turn. That's what he's pushing for.
It's interesting. Now he's second guessing the two that he's putting out there. Yeah, and Nick is the one who's particularly saying that he really favors utilizing some of those terrain cards when they come up. It looks like none of them have played a single event yet. We are several rounds into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Those event cards are interesting because they tend to be free. They can eat at your victory points, so they're kind of a little risk if you're going to use them or not. But one of the strongest things about them is that you can hold on to them in hand until you need them. And it's
Right.
nice to be able to play one out and say, I would like a little bit of soil to kind of get this build now. But if you can hold on to a few of them, and a player can really misunderestimate the standing that you're in, because, all of the, how much soil do you have, how many cards in hand, all that
Sure.
public information. If someone can really be thrown off by thinking that you're not in a position to build, but you're holding several event cards,
Sure.
that can be a game-changing situation.
I'm assuming we're waiting for the dam to break here when we cross the 20 cards in hand threshold. I think after that, once they make it, I think you're right. We're likely to see
Events
a
being-
rush, a
yeah.
little 1-2 punch played out. But that still hasn't happened. We've had just the one so far claimed from the center, and that is that 3+ flora with a color in the name.
All right. So it looks like it's still sitting under 10 cards in hand there for Nick.
Trigger. Once. 2 cubes.
The trash.
Trigger.
Lots of triggering going on there, collecting lots of goodies.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay.
Passing the first player there.
My turn.
Yeah, and for anyone who, if this is your first time actually watching a game of Earth being played, for purposes of the tournament, they are taking it in turn order, whereas normally this is a simultaneous play game.
That's right. Yeah. But there's so much going on. You see those boards in front of them for payments, and they'll place them there. Let it be seen to make sure that there are no mistakes being made. Speaking of Earth, the publisher of Earth, that would be Inside Up, has a little video we can show you actually of their games. So we can go ahead and show you that now, and we'll come back to the action. But for a moment here, let's check out the company that makes this wonderful game, Inside Up. go. Lots of different games. Not a lot of them you're going to see necessarily being played at this level. I don't think Gorus Maximus is going to be shown here, but it's a wonderful trick-taking game.
I mean,
Blood! Ah.
I mean, that would be fun.
It's a Roman arena. What do you expect?
You know, where 100% of Roman arenas are found is on Earth. That was a segue. That's the best way to do a segue is to just say something and then yell. That was a segue. I
It does
found that
work 100% of the time.
Yeah.
It lets the audience know it was indeed a segue. 30% of the time, you're right every time.
Now I wonder, as we were talking about with the playmats, right? We haven't seen the players shift anything around, right? Because that grid of cards that you build is fluid, it's flexible until you hit those 4 wide, 4 tall. But they've all kind of kept it
I have to wait on Nick Cannonwood over here.
It's like all the soil
Yeah.
goes through me.
Oh, okay. No, I misspoke.
Nick's the
Nick
soil
did ship
master.
one time.
Other stuff too.
Other stuff.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
able to stand and
Yeah.
reach every time, so if he's got a small pile, just make
And
sure you
still, though, they don't. None of them have their 4x4 set. They still have the ability to play and shift at the very least one more
You
time.
started it by not planting.
So the cards in the center that they've got there, in case you're not sure what they all are, well, let's go ahead and go through a couple of these again. We've talked quite a bit about the one that's been done, 3+ floor with a color in their name, and then the 20+ cards in hand. But we've also got then 7+ cards each with the one
One or fewer
or
habitat.
fewer habitats, right? So none or one habitat there. The Atlantic Puffin, gotta love a good puffin. 10+ cards with an even number of those the leaf
growth.
symbols of growth, right? And 0 counts for that. That's even in this game. And then we got the 2 over here on the side, the ecosystems there.
So the top one, and I'm guessing on pronunciation here, the Beliling Mountain ecosystem. So that's the different card types in column, all 4 of them. The one underneath that New Guinea rainforest. So that one is 5 points for every 2 cards with at least 4 or more growth, room for growth on them.
Right.
So there's so much to try to kind of balance together. Can you get the puffin and get the New Guinea rainforest?
Right.
You know, those tend to be expensive cards, the ones that have room for 4 or 6 growth on it.
Okay, so
Also, they can tend to be huge point cards.
Yeah. Well, looking at this, right, and figuring out where those intersections are. That's a big part of this game.
the deck, please, to compost. Okay, so gaining these compost cards here. I'll just take them now, if that's okay.
All right, he's taking some soil there and some cards.
Activating tableau first. So we're gonna take 2 cards from the deck, please.
I'm gonna pass.
Thank you.
He's got to be getting pretty close.
Now it's 7 for those who are counting. Or care.
Well, he's at 7, he said. Okay.
Okay, I mean, and that's the thing about shotgunning, playing cards out quick.
Yeah.
That's something. Okay.
Huh. Interesting.
My other bump,
Then I gain 2 sprouts. Give me 1 canopy and 1 regular. Oh, I can do it. That's right. I'm a strong, independent man now. Let's go. Alright, 1 there, 1 there.
He can do
I can
it.
make my own. All right.
You
One
can make it happen.
and
Plant
1
those tree growths.
for my reddish corky fungus.
I'll take it if you want me.
Actually, this is probably slightly better. Gain. Wait. Why'd I grab this? I need a regular one. Getting ahead of myself here. Get a regular one. And I gain 3 more soil. 1, 2, 3.
Good news for Nick. Yeah, everyone has built up their red, those red bonuses pretty strong, and so it's still getting
Money
selected.
again. Everyone else
Really,
wants it,
you need to, unless you have an alternate way of producing that soil. Some of those,
To the tableau. I will spend.
some of the yellow planting, the growing actions. Sometimes you can turn growth into soil, but yeah, if you're not drawing into that, you'll need to end up selecting the
Compost
composting, actually, is what
Right.
it's called.
Yeah.
I always think of it as the get soil action because I run myself poor very quickly in this game. But yeah, technically, it's also the one that allows you to compost cards. I forget the name of it. One of my favorite endgame scoring cards, though, is the one that rewards you for each compost card that you have, or for every 4 of them.
Yes. Absolutely. I tend to do a lot of composting when I play Earth, actually, so I'm always happy to see that. Anything that rewards that, I'm like, yes, great. I'm leading into this.
Yeah, 3 points for every 4 cards that you've composted. Well, I'm going to try to end the game with 63 cards composted. If
Most of the deck of cards will be right over here.
Yeah.
This big old stack of cards.
I will not use the blue ball.
All right. Passing the turn there.
You have your own pile now.
Card, please. I'll look at it this time. Compost 2, please.
Yep.
One soil. And I gotta think about something.
It is very interesting, again, to see them, everything they take, they place on those locations.
By the way, that
That
ecosystem
methodical
is
level of play.
ecosystem.
I do wonder if when these guys are practicing, I know a lot of it is online, so it doesn't really matter on VGA, but in person,
Without fail.
I wonder if they do this in front of themselves without thinking of it. Like they'll take soil and put it somewhere for a second, let everyone see it, and then take it into their boards, you know?
Yeah.
Because I could see that becoming sort of a repeated pattern that they fall into.
Oh, like it's kind of like
If I ever see anybody, yeah, like if I ever play Earth with anybody and I see them do that, that's when I'm like, oh, I fold. This guy's been to the World Series of Board Gaming. Oops. I've made a terrible mistake.
Yeah, like I said, I do actually wonder as well as they've been practicing, because there's definitely time in the open gaming areas and stuff to practice playing. I wonder if they practice playing simultaneously, or if they like to play, one at a time, kind of turn-based, so to speak, because you're witnessing, you're seeing what other people are doing.
Yeah, that's interesting, yeah.
It's a hard thing necessarily to, with a lot of games, chess being the most famous example. You play people who are better than you at chess, you're learning from them every single move sometimes. But with a simultaneous game, you might not be sitting there with those same observations. So it might be better to take the extra time, kind of know that you're going to be sitting down at the table for a little bit longer, but watching what other people do in different situations.
Yeah.
I know a particular person back home, actually, that I wouldn't mind having these little location boards and saying, Jason, mystery person, show your payment here on the board.
Everyone else's turns simultaneous. We'll watch you. Because the win rate will be quite high.
So I get rid of 5 growth.
Alright, he's getting rid of 5 growth, he says.
Or which of my favorite children do I love more?
I'll take it. If we choose the same deck, whatever.
Gotta pick
5.
purple.
Yep.
Purple's the best.
So that is all gone. Bye. Can I get 6 cards from the deck, please?
How many does that put you at?
That puts me
Six cards from the deck for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, what's his card count? Let's see.
I will probably need a ponder based on my new cards.
He's checking out his new cards here. Here we go. Let's see. All right.
Okay.
Let's see if his girlfriend chimes in and says, if you pulled any of the shrine cards. What's the word? Any shrine cards this time? Check the hotel room, please. The corner. Where do you put the shrine?
Yeah.
Where do you put? Yeah, where do you put your mobile shrine when in a hotel?
Is it like on a table? Is it like in the corner of the room? Inquiring minds want to know.
All good? Alright, kick us off.
Both blocks. So discount to 1 each.
Okay, another planting action.
Okay.
What? Yeah.
All right. Those are very inexpensive cards that he's putting out.
Gonna be bored after 10 minutes. Jim's getting Jim.
Just trying to catch up a little bit with the red banner action, the composting action, because Damien's is a little bit weaker than than both PJ and Nick's, and if they are utilizing that action a lot, yeah, you can
How we doing from last
you can be a little jealous, you know. And that's that question: do you chase it because you're seeing that it's being used a lot,
Right.
or do you kind of try to branch into a different path? But I think in a game like this, it really is beneficial to see what people are doing.
Right.
How can I benefit from that? Because they're probably not going to change up too soon.
Well, the other two are incentivized to do it, and if he's behind the curve on that,
Looked at this.
he's benefiting less. That's what it is at the end of the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's getting less
That's okay.
I see
passive
that
stuff.
sometimes,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
I was like,
have a
I
game
drew
I
a
forgot
card.
about?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're just gonna.
And he has now
in your tableau.
set
gonna be
his
like, wait, I already drew this
4x4
card.
grid, by the way. Damien has. The other two players have not yet, but he's got his tableau there defined. 8 cards on it. Still building very inexpensive cards there. That was, what, total of 3 soil or so for 2 cards?
Yeah.
Very inexpensive. Those goals in the middle of the table are going very slowly, actually, I will say. We've got just the one so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting that hasn't happened yet.
The Atlantic Puffin requires 10 cards to have an even amount of growth spaces on it, and that's just
We have hit now enough cards on the table, though, for the wood duck. It's 7+ cards. So we've got 2 players now that have enough cards to have achieved that. It just hasn't happened yet. They don't have it.
yeah. The terrain cards are tricky. They tend to have a lot of the habitat symbols, and so those are going to slow you down if you're building those. Well, PJ's got one up there. That's
Yeah, we
Got
got
just
those ecosystems. Those are gonna be another thing that's pulling at them. But yeah, it's interesting to see. I think we're gonna see a cascading effect there. Once they hit one or 2 more of these, it'll happen quickly for those cards in the center of the table.
Card off top, please.
Yeah, Nick's still giving him that flexibility, giving himself that flexibility. Some of it being, if you're going to build as you saw in that ecosystem card, you want variety straight down in a column.
Right. He still has a full empty column.
Yeah, so he's going to want to be building very intentionally vertically. So it is interesting to see how focused he is there. Damien kind of spreading diagonally a little bit more. In the way that he's built out.
Well, the very first 3 cards that Nick built were, in fact, in a column. He built 3 cards
All of the
immediately in a
color,
column.
not lavender.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's crazy. Let's see.
Well, that's the problem. PJ's hoarding all the cards with colors in it. He just built a lavender. I say built. He played out. Sometimes some of the terminology. I mix terms so much in different games.
And this game does have a lot of
My own
terminology,
man.
yeah.
That's payment.
So, just say cubes and things like that, growth, But some of them will stay right. Sometimes we'll just say,
Cards in
cube.
my hand.
Trash one.
0. I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Start with this guy.
Yep. How many cards do you have, Nick?
Great question. I currently hold 7 cards in my
Okay.
hand.
I currently hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12. How many do you have?
I'm down to 3.
All right.
And then I'm gonna check.
Yeah,
Making
so
that
skipping
push for those
this,
cards.
pass
12 cards in
comes
hand as opposed to
extra
7
cards.
and 3, respectively.
Yeah, and seeing what's in PJ's tableau as well. You know, he's got that card draw, especially once again on red. So that's a good position he's put himself in.
Nick will be the left.
Ooh, he's manifesting colors. I already got 4.
All right, let's see what Life with Zoe said here.
Found one.
Which is good.
The shrine is on the bed, nothing fancy.
But it seems to be giving Nick all of the cards instead of
I
PJ.
think
I
I
might recommend that you move the shrine to the other bed or another location.
Yep.
Yeah. You change it. Look for that signal. You know, reorient the satellite. I don't think the shrine power is working.
Stick the rabbit ears on it. You got to rotate them a
You
little
gotta
bit.
mess with it.
Yeah, I appreciate. Like you said, this is a talkative table. You know, there's a lot of moments of silence. There's pensive moments, stuff. But I do appreciate, for example, just asking, "Hey, what's the card count at?" You know, Damien with a little laugh there. 3. You know, I've been in that situation.
Yeah.
Just Nick with like, good question. Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys are all, like I said, very, very just great spirited, but competitive players, and it's nice to see that those are some of the people making it to these finals tables.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Not to say that they're not feeling a lot of pressure, because, like I said earlier, that these guys were sort of calling the shot a little bit, you know, the Babe Ruth style, with PJ saying he felt pretty good about taking it. But he also said that he spent most of today, he's got a Fitbit, and he spent most of today with a heart rate of between 120 and 140. The Fitbit said he had worked out, I don't know how many minutes, like in the hundreds of minutes. He's like, yeah, I need to either get in shape or stop playing board games at these competitive events. So, yeah, his heart rate has been very elevated. So we told him to, you know, take a few deep breaths and go to it.
And maybe drink like a lot of caffeine all at once.
Oh, that'll help. Yeah. That's
Yeah. What else? Yeah, just think about all of your childhood fears. Just try to manifest those.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that'll bring your heart rate down pretty well. We the other day, well, I'm not going to name names, but we the other day went to an establishment in Las Vegas that has a buffet. At the end of said buffet, as we were walking out, you know, one of our smartwatches said, "It looks like you've been walking a lot. Good job."
Fine.
Hopefully the camera
That was moving the fork to my mouth.
Way to stand up. Ah. Yeah.
It's part of the perks of coming to World Series of Board Gaming. You're in Las Vegas.
You get to walk a lot.
Plant or animal that I didn't see. Water again.
All right, so he's dropping down a couple of new cards. Let's see. He is still not touching that 4th column.
Yeah, I'm curious if he has something in mind as to why. Does he have something laid out? Because some of those cards can score based on pathways of connected fungal types, or
Right.
or just whatever it may be.
Or he's just playing chicken with the cards, you know? I tend to do that myself if I'm waiting on something. Like some of these cards want you to build something in a specific pattern. In this case, we know one of the cards cares about what you have in a column. You just sort of play chicken with yourself, waiting for those things to finally show up. You want to see the whole group before you deploy. And maybe that's it. Maybe that's what he's going for.
A lot of thought going on right now.
I did what we talked about earlier. I focused on, I've got this tableau here. Shifted over. Focused myself, yeah.
Yep.
Show that over here. Tree up there.
Okay, did the ring.
It looks,
Yeah.
sounds like Damien is kicking himself a little bit.
I think so, yeah. I think he set those boundaries and maybe
Afraid of that earthquake. I might
he's feeling like he shouldn't have quite locked out that column.
And I'm gonna get.
Thank you. 2 cubes.
Yeah, we were talking to him and he said that Damien here, he's from Salt Lake, and he was talking about how he showed up for Wingspan was one of the ones he had signed up for, but he didn't make it for Wingspan, so he was able to get a seat at the Heat Pedal to the Metal event. They had some space in there, so he was able to get in there, and he was feeling pretty good. He was doing quite well. Thought he had it figured out at the end there. He was going to push his luck a little bit. And top deck a 1. He was sure it was a 1. It was the one thing that was left in his deck. He goes for it. It's a Heat card. It's the last card. He goes, hold on. There's 3 1s. I'm holding 1. The other one's there. And he spreads out the cards. And sure enough, it's buried in the deck and he didn't see it. And now he has to shuffle. Spun out on the last corner. And lost right there. But he says he got very close in a game he wasn't even originally going to be competing in.
Yeah, and that's the surprising thing to me is to see finalists, and we've interviewed multiple of these players before they come to a match, and they say, "Is this the game that you thought you'd make it to the finals?" They say, "No,"
Right.
But they're a lot of those transferable skills,
Right.
Being able to look analytically, take most advantage when opportunities arise. Those are skills that'll help you in all different games.
Yeah, and these guys compete in a bunch of different things. They're good at, they're good at all of them. There's a lot of people here that are tremendously good at all these games.
And for those who do make it through the final, they win the ring in the event that they signed up for. When they go to the semifinals, it is a random draw, and that has to just be, once you're out of this, once you're done with the stress of this, you've won the ring. It's got to feel amazing, and then to say, "Ooh, hope it's not Wingspan. I'm not very good at Wingspan."
Right.
That's got to be kind of out of the frying pan into the fire. That moment of stress.
Yeah, that final play really is very interesting, and the way it's done is very interesting. The vetoing, the having to play in a game that you didn't previously win in. So we've got here Nick is at 11 cards now. We've got PJ at 8, and Damien is at 9. So they are on their way to filling out those tableaus.
Twinsies, all shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be It's got to be a hard position to be in Damien's situation right now. He's not loving that he's locked into that grid exactly. He has the fewest cards as well, and just
I think I have to plan.
yeah, seeing Nick's kind of very well manicured columns of cards. You got to make sure not to lose focus and just get caught up in what other people have, but play to what you have yourself.
Yeah, it looks like Nick, I think we just saw Nick there was sort of gesturing in enthusiasm over to Brian. Yeah, it sounds like Brian, over in the acquire table, that's acquire has been happening in the background here, might have just taken that win. And if so, that would be the second ring for Brian. He won the patchwork ring previously. So we'll check in on that, confirm that later on, but
Alright.
these things are happening, we've got lots of them going on. And like we said, we're streaming some of them with commentary. You'll get others with commentary later on, like in years past. But it's lots of competitions. It's happening everywhere. And then, of course, just open gaming. That's the other thing about coming out to this event. If you want to come, there's just open gaming you can do as well.
Let's see so Acquire is the other final that was happening right now, and then Dune Imperium is the other one from today, and then Azul was just on the previous stream.
Yeah, it just happened. Yep.
Yep. So Mick and Starla from our Family Plays Games commentates on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all that open gaming happening, by the way, that's part of the Dice Tower West library that they utilize for that. And if you want to come out to yet another event that you can come out and play at, that's one you can come to. You can come to Dice Tower West. In fact, there's a special going on here, Chris. Correct me if I'm wrong. For Dice Tower West,
Only 10, 15.
they have an early bird going on.
You are killing
Alright,
it.
That's going to wrap up, I think, on Monday.
On Monday at the end of September.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that'll be, you want to make sure that you get your
They love
The
it.
drama.
get in
I'm
before that
sure
Monday, so you get that early bird
High
special if
octane
you want to
games
come
like
out to Dice Tower West.
Yeah. I mean, the very full library that we have here at the World Series of Board Gaming
It's
is
tremendous, but it's a sliver of it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a piece of that library. There's so many games.
yeah, the amount of people who have said, "Wait, there's more games than that than are here."
That's right.
PJ's kind of stalling here, and he's apologizing to the folks watching, but I get it. It's high stakes. You don't want to put out the wrong card and say, "Oh yeah, 3 rounds ago when I drew this, this was the perfect location for it," and then put it in the wrong slot.
Yeah.
So,
That'll eat away at you if something like that
around
happens.
the middle, tragic.
For the staff here, so the Dune Imperium is the other final, and so we have the list of these are the competitors who are going to be in it. So we have JC or Jiachen, who was actually the winner of Heat this just 2 nights ago. Board game designer John D. Clare.
Apparently tremendously good at Dune. Who knew?
And then we have, and then will be 2 other newcomers. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. That's a bit of a star-studded event there.
Yeah. I heard John DeClaire was bringing his own transparent cards that
I swear,
modify
I've memorized-
previously
I've
existing
memorized
Dune
something.
cards. We're checking with the legalities of that. I think he was told, no, you can't do that. Dune's very good already. Sorry, Mr. DeClaire. You can't change it. But, kudos to him for trying.
Playing this game since then.
Yeah.
Oh, the chatter in the live comments is great. Last time I went to Dice Tower West, my heart rate was elevated from the Wind Brunch buffet.
It'll do that to you.
They're both 10. So, which card would I rather have out? That's the question. How are you? Put you down so long ago, I literally don't even remember. Okay.
6 of each.
PJ is talking. I believe he's talking for the card
Yeah.
as if it was
So
speaking
that's
to
something
him.
you really like.
Yeah, he's sort of
consider
mumbling
just,
to himself at this point. Yeah.
You put me down so long ago, you don't even remember who I am. Don't you know who I am, sir?
Yep.
He's trying to.
Nick,
There's-
you're
yeah.
one away from both, right? I did
9
this
and 9.
count. 9 and 9, yeah. So, literally, you're probably gonna get one or both. We'll see. Hope it's not both, but even then, you're likely gonna get in the next turn, so it doesn't really matter.
And like so much high-level play,
Yeah.
the old adage, if you're playing poker, you're not just playing your hand, you're really playing your opponent's hand.
Doesn't matter.
And that seems to be kind of what PJ is, where he's at right now. He's very aware that Nick has, he's got second place there for the 3 Flora cards that have a color in their name,
So I'm going
and he's
first.
worried about, about
We're all good.
losing out to Nick on one of the other ones because every one of those point differentials matter.
2, 3, 4.
Let him come out.
Which, as I'm sure Nick's already aware, I cannot claim either of those objectives this turn.
There you go. You just heard him say it himself.
He's gonna go here. One, I think.
He's putting out a couple of new cards.
Is there a way we could expand our view there so we can see that?
Maybe that is
Particularly interested in that
better.
left side new terrain card that he played out.
Hoping for like a god draw. So. No. Some dreams have to die. Painful truth.
It's getting philosophical now.
Yeah.
Some dreams have to die.
Let the past die.
I'm not
Kill it if you
messing
have
with
to.
it.
Wow. Like channeling his inner Kylo
does.
Ren.
Okay. I will lock that in. Go ahead and give me 4 cards from the top.
Yeah. I have a little bit of a hard time reading. I think that is a scoring card for
Sorry.
mushrooms in that
That's why I'm getting
column.
bad cards, is I don't say please and thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Extinction volcano? No. Maybe. You don't know what I have?
Your manners are definitely affecting me.
Maybe he's not a poker player.
You kiss what you get.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that's gonna that new terrain that he put out there is in fact scoring for that mushroom in that column. And while he's not trying to line up multiple mushrooms, right, he wants those 6 points per column as a different name. That's the mixed forest.
Okay.
Yep, so 3 points per mushroom in that column, yeah.
Yep. Still, those terrain cards you can take good advantage of.
Okay, now I've got
I have
right here, and there.
5, 6, 7. I believe I have 8 mixed habitats. I should have 9 even. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 even. Yep. Okay. That's a pretty good card.
Still looking at his cards there, making some decisions.
All right. Yep. And someone in the chat, Board Game to Tears, confirms that Bryant Brownell just won the Acquire Finals as well.
Take that. I'm gonna set
Indeed, that was the last year's Patchwork finalists, or Patchwork winner. So
not doing
ringing in
some
2 different events, and he'll. Patrick's no longer part of the World Series of Board Gaming, so I don't think he ever has to technically defend that ring ever again. Earth, it's going to be back next year.
Right.
So even whoever wins this ring, they're not immune to my challenges. I'm gonna come up to them, and I'm gonna use. This was my old in college. We had these official rules. We had a ladder for the ping pong table in the rec room.
So,
Right? We had a ladder ranking. If you were challenging someone
Oh, this has
officially
been an
to a game-
actual ladder, I'm sorry.
one.
This is how little I know about ping pong. Go ahead.
So we just had a little rating there, and if you were challenged, you were able to challenge someone who was 3 steps above you on
cubes
this
are gonna be
ranking
going
ladder,
down here.
so long as you said the official phrase, "This is a throwdown."
Okay.
No.
I'm going to march out there to whoever's the winner of Earth at the end of this, and I'm going to say, "This is a throwdown."
So you consider yourself to be
7, 8.
only 3 below? So you're saying
Alright.
there's going to be 1 winner here and 2 folks that lose to that winner, and you're right below
Sign
them.
stuff. Back at home.
I have no reason to suspect other than that. Do you?
I do not. But then again, I don't understand this whole ladder business. Like the kind you climb. Is that what we're talking about?
It's
Like A-frame.
It's a metaphysical ladder. Sometimes you just have to let your dreams die.
Those always get me. Shrines and metaphysical ladders, I have a hard time grasping. I really do.
That's only,
It's a 3 for 2.
well, I'm getting 6 for that.
Yes. Oh, and you're spending 2.
And I'm spending.
There we go, figuring out some math.
Yeah, that's my tree.
Yeah.
Discount. That is now payment, yes.
Making sure those ins and outs are obviously correct, but
A random off the top. There you go.
It's very interesting to me. That was the question I told you folks about Damien, that his favorite game was Battlestar Galactica. I posed the same question to Nick, and he said Sidereal Confluence, which is a very thinky, but kind of a negotiation-heavy game. And it's interesting that both of them, their favorite games, have a little bit of that social deduction, very, very interactive games between the players, not just at the table.
May he grow mighty and tall.
It's the kind of game you wouldn't think these guys with their high-level play maybe would enjoy that social aspect, but it goes to show you. Oh, there he goes. He's shifting his board. It goes to show you that they love that social aspect of board game because their games, their favorite games, are really social.
yeah. And I feel like you can really see that once again in their play. They're
They're
playing.
chatty, they're enjoying each other. Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
All right, so he's finally going to drop something down, it looks like, in this abandoned column, and there it is. He's only got 4 open spots right now, and he just completed 2 of the goals in the center of the table at the same time. He just got 10 plus cards, the Atlantic Puff in there, 10 plus cards with the even scoring there and or spaces for
growth,
For
yeah.
growth. And then the Wood Duck is the other one he just got. No, what's the other one he just got? That is. Can't see which one that is that he just got.
Have we been looking at a different
I
card?
don't think it's this one, actually. Yeah, it looks like it might be a different card there. There we go. Siamese Rhinoceros. So this one's actually not one of those, is it?
Oh yeah, we've been looking at.
Oh, we're looking at the wrong side. They're double-sided. They'll get you every time.
This is why we are this is why I'm ranked number 4.
I never said I was ranked, so you can forgive me for getting that wrong. The Siamese Rhinoceros Beetle here is 10 plus cards, each with 2 plus habitats. So you wanted some cards. Let me see. There was the one that had.
No, it was the inverse of the. It was on the back side of that. Yeah.
Yeah, they got. So he wants a lot of habitats on those, and indeed he got both of them at the same time. That means he's now completed 3 of those cards in the middle.
6. Okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm like trying to figure out what you're talking about.
Yeah, 12 cards out there. He's in a good position to potentially be the person who ends it, in getting those 7 points. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's going to hit those 20 cards. I don't know if he'll need that 5th leaf.
Right. But if he can do that, quickly fill out those empty spaces, that's going to be a quick wrap up, right? He wants to go for. He's pushing the cadence of the game right now. He wants that quick end.
That's what my wife told us. That's why
In the
it's
one,
in the last round.
Because with many of these streams, people say, well, who do you predict? Or, we didn't do predictions early on. And it's interesting. I'm not really sure. I mean, there's definitely a part of me that thinks that Nick came into this. He obviously came hungry to play well. Mm-hmm. And he said that he originally came to the World Series of Board Gaming because he said, I wanted to know if I really was that good. There's a lot of times you play in your play group, you're like, oh, yeah, John's really good at games. John's good at games in our game group, right? But to prove himself as
John's
much as
actually a terrible player, generally speaking.
Yeah.
I'd beat John. Okay, yeah. You said John, right?
John.
Yeah, John.
Not using any specific examples.
No. Me neither. Just if your name's John and I've played against you, I'd beat you. I did.
Was REM the lowest?
Even if it was cooperative.
Did you walk into it this
I
morning?
won, John.
Figure yourself.
I like dilly-dally.
I don't pronounce his name right. I just might be getting tired. That's what it is.
No, I find that interesting. So he came very hungry to prove, and to kind of prove to himself, really, more than anything, hey, I want to be competitive at these games. And he's shown 8 times.
Yeah, I mean, tremendous. Yeah, he is consistent, incredibly consistent. But yeah, all these guys are hungry, and I'm with you. I don't know if I was gonna. I don't think I would venture a guess right now. I think they're all 3 doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
I am getting the feeling that Damien maybe is kicking himself a little bit for a couple of decisions he made earlier in the game. That's just a feeling I'm picking up on. But it's anybody's game right now, and they're all 3 playing very well.
More trees. We need more trees.
Good message. We do need more trees.
Yeah, it's got to be stressful to be in Damien's position. He doesn't have any of his leaves out there
I'll start here.
for scoring those racing objectives.
I'm gonna elect to look at these cards.
He's looking at players with more filled out tableaus than him.
Little poker hand cam, that's super cool.
I'm gonna run through this before I do this.
Alright.
I'm gonna pay a soil.
Right, he's going through his tableau there, activating everything.
I'm gonna pay a thingamabob. Pay a thingamabob. And get 3 soil. I would like to draw a card, please. I'm gonna clear the bank.
He's ready for that 7th inning stretch, it looks like.
I'm curious if anyone's going to hit the 20 cards.
Yeah, I wonder at this point, is it too late? Have they all sort of mentally pivoted away from that? We didn't quite get close enough. Let's close.
If you could go to the edge of the hotel and do the lighting.
Let's see, the one none of them have done yet is that one. All the other ones have at least one person who's done
Everyone
it.
would really appreciate that.
And that person's Nick.
Fantastic. Let's go.
Yeah, he's definitely in a very strong position.
Let's go with the death.
He wants to end this game now, before anybody else has a chance to,
I would like to pay
put,
victory point.
make some of those goals and complete some of those objectives. He wants to end that game right.
Makes sense. How many cards
He
do I have?
paid
Great question.
one
I was wondering
composted
the same.
card.
Yep.
And I have to trash them.
Paid a composted card for the card draw.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay. Do you want to count on me?
I assume you're going to take your turn first.
Yes. That makes sense. Words are hard. I didn't come here to mince words. I came here to plant trees. All right. So I'm going to draw 2 cards first. That's definitely
I
happening.
came here to speak words and plant trees. I'm all out of words.
I will, of course, look at them. Okay. Cool beans. All right.
James Orr says, gives them old school vibes of the old school
Running tableau.
World Series of
Give me-
Poker.
I can do this myself.
Yeah,
Strong.
yeah, absolutely, right.
Game 2.
PJ is such a sweet person. I would love to see him at the World Series of
2 more
Poker,
cards, please.
saying things like "cool beans" on the card draw. Cool
Yeah.
beans.
Cool beans. I'll raise you.
Okay.
I'm not here to mince words.
Then 2 cubes. 1, 2.
He
Game
died.
2.
Fine.
Let's throw those bad boys down here, I suppose. And that is it for me. Pass the card, give you the count.
Let's hear the count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Spitting distance.
Yep.
15 cards he's holding. Not quite 20, but he is close.
Okay.
As Nick's at spitting distance.
Time to count things up again, because I'm so bad at that. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 there.
It looks like Nick is choosing to do the planting action again. When someone is at 14 cards, which is what he will be here at the end of his turn, it makes every other player so hesitant to choose that planting action even for themselves.
Yep. So it could just be a quick 1-2 there, yeah.
Now, PJ being in the player 1 seat, meaning that he went first, So Nick also has that advantage that he's in the last seat.
Well, Chris is looking this up here. Let me tell you folks about tomorrow. We have finals tomorrow for Red Cathedral. They're having their finals tomorrow. And someone there is going to win a trip to Essen. But the top 8 are going to win prizes. And another thing that is related to Red Cathedral, well, at least from the publisher, is that it's been announced, Chris, that next year
Colored cards do you have?
another game from the same company, White Castle,
Colors. Like
is going
colored
to be
cards,
from DeVere Games.
Courier.
Is going to be one of the games that is in competition here. So
Cards with
I'm
colored
sure there are already competitors that, knowing that information, are furiously practicing and starting to learn it and play it and digging into it. So Red Cathedral tomorrow, and somebody might win a trip to
Black and white.
Essen Spiel in Germany.
Still colors though.
Yeah,
Is that,
good point.
wow, is that
White is a color.
the Essen, that's a week from tomorrow?
I don't know. I wonder if that is this year's Essen or next year's Essen. Either way, they're going to Germany.
2 more?
There is Nick with the 14 cards out.
Very scary.
Okay.
It does look like it's next year's Essen. Okay, yeah. We need to give them time to pack.
Adding in with the mountain columns.
Some of us here will be going
That's right.
straight, like literally from Las Vegas. A few
To
of you
that
will-
part of the world, and there's no time to pack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why?
All right.
No, that's
There we go. He is at
anything.
14 cards now, and then the other 2 players 11 each. I think 11. No, maybe 10 for Damien there.
10 for Damien, yeah. But they will also have their play for this current round.
Yeah, if they have their plant action and plant, be at 11. All right. Yeah, they've got the card waiting.
Yeah, so because Nick is the last player, when any player triggers the end of the game by having the full grid, you go to the last player. There's equal number of turns. Him being the last player really puts him in the hammer seat because he's in the lead right now.
Right.
He gets to kind of drive that. Now it's possible that he plays out his 16th card, say on one of PJ's planting actions. So that would be interesting to see. Would he want that? You know, would he want to do that and have a few other turns where he could fire off his card's abilities?
Right.
Or would he rather kind of just close it down, shut it down on his turn?
Well, if PJ or Damien pick planting, then he'll have to make that decision then.
Yeah.
One of these. 2 of these.
Oh, I'm seeing in the chat that last year's Red Cathedral winner, Adam, is flying out to this year's Spiel in Essen.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yep, sounds good. Spider trusses costs 1. Okay. Just gonna go down here. And then 1 card off the top, please. Please make it good.
He said please, and he
He
said
did.
thank you earlier.
I believe this gets me both objectives, so I'll go ahead and claim those before I forget.
Oh, wow.
Boom.
All
That
right.
is a very, very powerful move there.
Make sure
I
I'm
believe you
not
only have
Suddenly jumps right back into the running.
2 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You are correct.
Yeah, and as you can see there from the central board, you've got yellow.
What's that?
That's going to be Nick's, and you've got blue leaves in there for PJ,
Yes,
but
so I will take this one.
none
This one.
for Damien. He is in a tough spot right now. He hasn't achieved even one of those.
Okay.
Yep. And if you are just jumping in, that's PJ in the bottom right, Damien in the bottom left, and Nick on top.
It doesn't look like he had to actually take one back. It looks like he
Here, I guess.
he only had 9 cards that satisfied that, not 10.
No.
So he went ahead and removed one.
It's to you.
Still, he's made some progress on that board.
2 soil. 2 soil. 2 soil.
Whew. Wow, yeah, Damien is in a tough spot. He's spending his sprouts, 3 per soil. Or 3 of them trading them for 2 soil.
Right.
That is 9 points that he's spending.
That there. Draw my 1 blind. That was a cold, so I gained 2 taken from the payment.
Yep. I got one of the animals, not the other.
Draw another blind. I will take a trunk. Yes. Trunk there.
All right. He's making some gains here. But yeah, I agree with you. That was a very costly and painful payment and trade.
And they're going to sprouts grow back, right?
I'll take a.
They're, I guess, very literally, they're a renewable resource, is the joke I was about to make, but they really are. If you can get those back, right, you are space limited. I think that he's got space to play many more out than that, but it's not a bad way to go if you feel like you can get those points back fairly easily.
Well, I feel like Nick probably was hoping to sort of step on the gas a little more than he has. The game has gone a little slower than he was hoping, I would suspect, has allowed PJ to gain a little ground. And maybe Damien's feeling some of that and thinking, I have the time to make this up. To slow down a bit. I'll cash them in, get what I need, get that soil I need now. I'll try to gain some of that back.
It is PJ's action to select, I believe.
I would have put all 4 in it.
I tried it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this is tough. Do you choose to build
My boys.
because playing out 2 cards, especially if you have the right amount of payment for it, it's just so important to lock down those things. PJ sitting with 1 hole in one of his columns. He's got enough cards in hand. He probably has the right type. Is that 6 points worth chasing? Does he have something that's more valuable, a terrain that might score for some connected rows or columns?
And I do feel like at this point, again, he's very close to those 20 cards. It just might be too late at this point. Now, if he can make that, nobody else will. So he could be the only one that completes that objective, and that
I think it was just on that.
could be the difference. But he might need to just pivot and play some cards out.
Yeah, 15 points unrequited, which is nice,
It's
but
absolutely,
at what
yeah.
cost?
Right.
He's thinking.
Yeah, how much can he stall in order to make that happen?
Hoarding energy.
Nobody wanted storage.
He's,
That's the action.
he's feeling the pressure. Yeah, he's feeling it. He's holding his head. He's sighing. He's up against some stiff competition here.
It's just on like a prep screen, but it's got a counter, but it's not going, so yeah, weird.
Yeah, this is not an enviable position to be in.
Say it could be paused. But
Just on all accounts of just appearance, right? It looks like Nick is in a very strong position for this, especially knowing, like I said, just even being last in turn order. Yeah, as soon as PJ chose, the planting action. Nick slammed that card down, you know, and that's got to feel intimidating.
Yeah, that's got to be like, ooh, should I have done that, right?
Okay. We're all locked in.
Yeah, James Orr makes a very fair point here in the chat. It's just
Checking in. I have 9 dual habitats. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, cool. So revealing these.
let's see what PJ's
So
building.
first off, Chinese peony is going to replace this. So I discard this, and I get to draw 2 cards. So 2 cards from the deck, please.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so I'm still at 9 dual habitat.
Yeah, I was just.
Oh, it does? Oh.
Yeah, it's a compost.
Oh, okay. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
I wanted
Extra
to
point.
make sure to read in case it was something else, but yeah.
We're good.
There you go. Good catch. Good catch there.
Okay.
I guess that's one of the cards he doesn't know.
That card says, but before I put it, I was gonna double check.
He said almost all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
usually they're
didn't,
compost.
because I play online.
I'm gonna guess it wasn't in the shrine.
Right,
That's
right.
managed automatically.
Probably doesn't. Okay. Keep these cards. And then boxwood. It's gonna go here, which gets me my 10th. Pay the soil. 2 soil.
All right, there he goes. He's going to be getting that
10th dual habitat.
10th dual
that
habitat.
objective he mistakenly
Then
put out
we'll
there
draw
earlier. He
cards,
now has
please.
achieved.
Please,
3
please,
new
please.
cards.
I'll say please as many times as it takes. Okay.
Yes, Nick is yellow.
Can we have the names pop in again for them, please? Yeah, we'll show you folks their names in just a second here. There you go. We got Nick, PJ, and Damien.
Yeah, Damien playing purple. Got to be hard to be this late in the game and not see any of your purple leaves out there on those objectives.
Right.
PJ catching up with that move there. I think we might see the end of the game without the Andean Condor, the 20 cards in hand, being scored.
Yeah, it just might be too late for that. He dropped 2, but he gained, I want to say about 4 cards, if I'm not mistaken. That puts him at about 17 in hand. So he's close.
2 cubes.
He's also discarded some cards out. Yeah, so
Yeah, I think he knows it's a little too late for that.
Okay, let's throw these here. 'Cause why not? Could matter. Okay. Let me think. How many cards do you guys both have?
Oh, he's still thinking about it.
9.
9. Okay.
Yeah, this might be final confirmation for him to decide if they're going to get it, actually. That might be him deciding if he wants to give it up. As in, if no one gets it, it doesn't affect me. He just doesn't want one of the other 2 players to get it. 9 cards, 9 cards. That's not going to happen. Not up to 20. So this might be him saying, well, fine. Then I won't go for it either.
Cards.
16 cards.
He has 16 cards right now.
So close, he could taste it, but if it, I know with his red banners, he has a few extra card draw in there. That's
Yeah, he did choose not to compost. So looks like he is going for it. Is he going to have the time to get to 20? That's a real razor's edge kind of argument, because he knows if he doesn't make it to 20, he's given up points.
yeah.
He chose not to compost.
Over here, card off the top, and a trunk.
Yeah, this is one of those games. In every game, every point matters. But yeah, to know that you chose not to compost there, and I'm not sure how many compost from hands he gave up necessarily.
I didn't take them
Right, right.
All right. Let's see. What was this card that Nick was so excited to plant? 6 dirt. 7, 8 dirt functionally.
Even if something you're supposed to get, it's not like a
Draw
choice
card,
based.
please.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a choice based thing. I just forgot to get it. You are correct.
Now Nick is sitting at no dirt, if I'm reading his board correctly. No soil, I guess is absurd.
Soil, yeah.
Just heard him say dirt. See, even the competitors calling them cubes, calling them dirt. I thought these were the highest level players out there. I now bump myself up from 4th to 3rd in standing.
Oh, wow.
I choose that. I just declare it.
Okay. That's bold. That's very bold.
Thank you.
Your call. It wasn't a choice based thing. They all
Already thought about this.
This is not an option. Right. It's not like I chose not to put it.
So we're at Damien's action to pick.
I mean, it's his ruling. Are we?
He's looking at his cards.
Back to everything else we said.
Must be feeling a lot of pressure. Game's almost over.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Is it just because you're probably in the winning position?
No.
He's having a pleasant time.
Yeah.
Is where he's at. Also, he's
Blue.
saying thanks for a pleasant game. You're thinking you're gonna blow it up? First
Yeah.
blue of the game.
6
That's why.
This is the point of the game. You really sit there and think, yeah, where your sprouts at? Where's your growth at? Do you have them capped off? Because once again, in a game of points, where a few matter here or there, having 4 growth high on a 5 spot is the difference between having 4 points or sometimes 7,
Right.
8
That
points.
final one matters. And he needs to make up for some of the ones he paid earlier, too.
Yep.
So he's regaining some of those victory points. And it was, in fact, the very first time that blue was picked the entire game. And at this rate, the only time.
Yeah.
We'll spend another cap to draw 2 cards.
Spending a capper to draw 2 cards.
That's the technical term, a capper. That's in the rule book. Is it?
Spending that.
Oh, I don't know. That's what he called it. I'm trusting
You're
him.
ranked
He's
3rd in
the
the world. I'm trusting you.
Okay, I'm down to 5th now. Thanks for that. If you hadn't called me out, I'd give myself
Never
another
seen
promotion.
more fluctuation in any ranking of anything.
Like when you're so close to the top, right? Just misspeaking a little bit.
I guess that's fair.
It sends you plummeting. Yellow card.
Very good.
He is done. And here we go to Nick's action selection. Looks like he's taking a look around the board.
Well, he's following on the blue action now. That Damien chose the watering action.
That's right.
Interesting. Very few watering bonuses on his tableau there.
I'm gonna activate this. Pay these 2.
Well, right. You said he likes to go for a lot of colors, but I'm assuming he also knows that that action gets chosen less, I suppose, or would be chosen less for this game. Seems like, yeah, you're right. There's not that many of that color that he has.
Yeah.
How many cards you at, Nick?
Asking for the card count.
10. 4, 5,
Well, here's the thing. I hadn't had a single blue card.
7.
I couldn't get it. The last round was so like the worst because I had.
What's your action next? You're at 10. That's it.
Yeah, cool.
Is there
10 cards is aware.
to give 17
Very aware.
if you take yellow.
Yeah, PJ seems to be under a lot of stress right now. He's definitely sweating every move, every card, the card count. He's asked quite a bit. I'm guessing that Fitbit is blowing him up.
Yeah, he's talking it out. Can he get 4 cards? If Nick ends this on his turn with the planting action,
Can't risk it, I think.
I don't think he has planting bonuses.
Right.
It's very rare in this game, really, to build up that planting action to get bonus. There are a
Playing
few,
event first. Let's just do one
but
card.
Oh, there you go.
6
Playing an
cubes.
event.
Right, doesn't matter. Go
Interesting. He's choosing to give up a card to get that event.
2,
Oh, wow.
draw 6 cards, please, from the deck.
6 cards.
Thank you.
He gave up, 6 sprout cubes, so giving up 6 points to lock in 15.
Claim.
There we go, and he claims it.
You can count them out if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
21.
Claim it.
Whew!
So he's got it. That's 15
That's
points
blackjack
right there. And by the way, I have just been informed he had to turn in his Fitbit to avoid getting any messages.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. His heart rate is fine.
10 for 15, and he goes.
Oh, I would the final tiebreaker. That would be so disappointing.
When I was talking with them beforehand, I was asking them, how do they use those event cards? When they said that they like to save them for those surprise moments, that was a good surprise, right?
That was worth it. Jump in there, get those 15 points, go to 21 cards. If he's got any more now, he is free to use them because he hit that objective.
Also, is this blood? I'm like bleeding under my fingernails somehow. Alright. Take 2 soil for the main blue action. Then down here, remove 2 cards from my compost. Gain 4 cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Discard. Sorry, I almost knocked over your tree.
All right.
Burned all my trees down, I guess.
Game number 2, giving up 2 compost to get 4 sprouts. Still netting ahead here and there.
Yep. Getting rid of the trees. He just said, I'm bleeding under my fingernails right now, by the way. If that's what you heard, apparently that's what he said.
And a cube to gain a growth and a card. So 1 more card, please. I keep saying please, and it's not working out. What is this? It's rigged.
Because the system knows you're doing it for your benefit.
Yeah.
Okay? And not
Impure
because-
thoughts.
Yeah, alright? Impure thoughts.
Mhm.
You're not doing it for please's sake.
Yep. Okay.
That's something you don't see at the World Series of Poker. There's the
Yeah,
judge
no,
at the
no.
table
That was
riffing
my
with the
blue
players a little bit
actions.
as
Yep.
well.
Okay, we're all done in blue. Goes to Nick.
Let's end the game.
Alright.
There you
Okay.
go. That's what Nick has wanted to do. And he is doing it.
He is building.
Curious. Damien is sitting on a little bit of soil. Trying to read his board there. He's got 4? 4.
Right. I'm pretty sure it is. It's not close.
PJ has. Is that a
Looks
1 or
like-
is that a 5?
It looks like 1.
All right. He's going to fill in that last hole in that column.
I guess
It's definitely-
that's probably no surprise to anyone.
Good.
Yep.
I pay nothing.
Okay.
Can I have what randos off the top?
Does Nick have any sneaky events to play?
Yeah, at this point. All right.
In a different way.
I will play this for Borealis.
There we go.
Let's do the old everybody
Cubes.
cards.
And I don't think fills anything up.
He's doing some final checks on his board there, building up some trees. He did play 1 event, Aurora Borealis.
Alright.
And
let's
that's it.
reveal the card. Playing Indian Oyster down here. In lieu of the cost, I am gonna compost 4 cards from my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's-
This is gonna go down here.
That's a nice ending card to play on. Avoid
Then-
paying with dirt.
Let's see.
Pay from hand in
I'll
compost.
draw
That's
a card from the deck.
I mean,
Giving
you're
yourself
sitting on
points.
so many cards right now.
Please be
Good play.
the most amazing card ever. It's not. Okay. Rip that band-aid off quickly. Alright, we're gonna go through and start playing events. First off, we're gonna play. Wait, sorry. Let me resolve the rest of the green actions first, I think.
Yeah, I agree with Anastasia here. This
Okay,
is
yeah. We'll resolve
this is
green
close,
actions
too close to
first.
call.
First off, 2 cubes, please. Gain those. Go in my tableau. It's 1. Does not matter, I think, at this point, but it might in a world where this game continues another round somehow. Nick has a heart attack in the next 30 seconds. I wouldn't affect that. I should not wish that into the world. I'm so sorry.
You know, similar thing happened to Nick
now I roll
actually
back to 2
in
cards.
Arnak, where he ran out of actions. He was out of resources, out of cards and everything.
My compost.
He had 2 unplayable cards, and he passed.
And
And he sat there and he had to
Now
watch
we'll
the
go
other
through
2
start
players
events.
take about 10 minutes
2
worth of turns.
cards into my compost.
10 minutes of very methodical, thoughtful turns, and he was just, you could tell that he was ready to burst in excitement,
Your hot springs.
of anxiety.
Yeah, yeah.
Lose 3
Can
cards from my
imagine.
compost. 1, 2, 3. Gain 4 cubes.
Okay, he's still making points.
Okay. Discard. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
It looks like once he's done here running the board, he's going to be playing some events. He's been holding some of those back.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's not getting played. This is not getting played. Okay, so 4. And I will gain 4 growth. Wow, do I maximize value? 1, 2, 3.
While you're thinking about that,
Yeah.
can we just pause moving forward real fast?
Yes.
Just so you can think about your growth. That's fine. You can put it on your game.
I'll
'cause
put
you know
it.
you
I'll
just
put
did
it here. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know that you played the card. But then while you're thinking about it, just pause for 2
Yes.
seconds.
Okay.
Regret not playing this a little earlier
Yeah.
to get some card draw. I struggled with that.
I think you have it, Nick. We'll see though.
Yeah. Board, you know, the full mountain. Didn't really count the rain. He's got a lot on his colors.
Mhm.
The players are right now sort of taking a big breath, thinking about and discussing, in fact, that it looks like Nick might have it. They seem to be in agreement about that. We will see, but they seem to be in agreement.
2 other events you're playing too.
PJ did
That's
just
last
play
one,
some
I
events,
will
and
say.
he might be playing some more. In
I
fact,
wish
we
I
don't
had more,
know.
but I do not.
Yeah,
Well,
our table judge had to be pulled aside for just a second, so that's why no one's doing anything. That's kind of the pause here that they're taking.
Filled your tableau.
The head judge had to
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I always forget that too.
had to discuss it really quick.
Oh, I am having nosebleed. Ah, didn't
Okay,
even-
well, and yeah, there you go. Nick for
Having nosebleed.
for completing his tableau, completing his grid,
That's why there's
got
blood
the
on my
7 point.
fingernails.
well, it looks like
I thought so hard, my brain literally burst.
PJ just got a nosebleed, apparently. That's why he said he was bleeding. So he was talking about bleeding from under the fingernails, and I guess he had a nosebleed is what happened, and he must have rubbed his finger up against his nose. Ah, good night. Yeah, he really was. He's had a whole day, I think, of just that high blood pressure, literal blood pressure. So
Can I get
Yeah.
a tissue, maybe?
this is I
Sorry.
can't imagine again being at that level of competition and that pressure,
I
that
can-
intensity.
Do that, I guess. Sure.
Right. Well, this is a good time to remind folks that tomorrow, the four finals, the final four tournaments going on are going to be Splendor, which will be streamed. The final will be streamed here on the channel. The Castles of Burgundy as well.
That's right.
Also, Terraforming Mars.
And we've got Tom, actually, also. The very first thing you'll see live tomorrow is actually Tom playing Cosmic Encounter with some folks. That's going to be earlier. It's going to be at 1 Pacific time. And then these, some finals. So
As
you'll
well.
see, Splendor and Castle Burgundy,
As well as the 8:15, 8:30 in the morning, the kind of the opening award show, which if you haven't watched those, what's really neat is they bring up, as we mentioned, all three of these players at the table are super deserving of the recognition they get. So all of them get to come up, not just the winner, which I appreciate a lot.
Right.
The winner will be given, of course, the ring,
Yeah.
but all of them have worked very hard to be here, and they deserve to be recognized. And so that morning show, John, who heads up all of WSBG, I mean, he's an energetic guy.
He's
to
a
say the
very
least.
energetic guy, yes.
Yeah, can't really hold him back.
Yeah, if you haven't seen one of those, really, you should tune in and check it out. It's very nice. It's lovely to see these guys come up and get that ring, get that recognition, speak a few words, and be, cheered on by their peers, really.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely tune in and check that out.
There was also a rescheduling so that Tom's interview with Matthias Viga, the designer of Arc Nova, will also be tomorrow afternoon.
Go for the higher cannons then.
All right, and it looks like we're back in the action now.
3. And then here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. It was 6 either way, I believe.
More intrigue.
Yep. Alright. Active player card goes to you.
Are those going to your
There
conference?
you go. Yeah, it's
They were paid.
that feeling. Is it too little too late? Those events, the extra little shifting around that PJ did.
Yeah, they're wrapping it up
Very
here.
nice. Wow.
Total 8 costs.
So again, tomorrow, don't forget 4
4.
ring events. We're streaming 2 of those. You can watch 2 of them later on. They'll get their own, commentary later on. But you can watch Splendor tomorrow and Castles of Burgundy. But Terraforming Mars and Cascadia are also happening tomorrow.
Yep. And PJ was last year's
Yeah.
Cascadia winner,
On board.
so he'll have the opportunity to go up again and
Cold, so I gain 2.
see if he can defend it.
That's right.
Yeah, Damon's been utilizing this strategy where he's paying in a lot of sprouts, but he keeps earning several of them back. So
Top and 2 trump.
curious to see what his final scoring from sprouts, from growth, and all that is going to be on their boards. That could be a good equalizer. And not to mention just the straight up value on the cards themselves are they're so variable. Cards with 0 points, cards with up to 9 just base printed.
Yeah.
Event is Steam Vents for another 2.
I mean, it cannot be overstated that him having none of the objectives in the center of the table is painful. But we got to wait and see what kind of showing he makes here when it all comes down, when the chips are down, when we get some numbers.
And finally,
And there he is.
Oh, he has one now. I
Can
spoke
dual
too
habitats.
soon.
Alright, final scores, I guess. Or last chance to play events for people.
I've got nothing.
I'm also out, I believe. Let me just look through again. Yep, these are all bad. Cool.
Okay, so we are going to start with the points on your cards, just the league points, just so that way we know, and since they're doing it for the camera, we are going to go in seed order.
Yep.
So we're going to go PJ,
Okay.
and then we're going to go Damien, and then we're going to go Nick.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll do each thing, each one around, so you guys can start looking at your thing, and then when you're ready, let me
All
know.
right, we're scoring it up.
down.
We're going to be fairly
PJ,
quiet here because
number
I think
of
we want to
league
listen in
points
close.
on your cards.
Alright, so starting off with the island, 5. Another 4 is 9 from here.
Still gone.
Still 9. 11.
That's a good one.
13.
Yeah.
17.
Plus 10.
18. 20, 24, 29, 32, 32, 32, 33, 34.
Uncontested 34.
You confirm. I compare, Doctor.
I can do math sometimes, just not all the time.
2, 6, 6, 6, 8, 9, 15, 19, still 19, 20, 25, 34, 35, 37, 38.
Confirmed 38. Nick?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, 15, 17, 24, 24, 28, 29, 30, 31, 33, 34, 38, 42.
Yes, we're good.
Pretty good number.
All right.
42.
Putting up big numbers already, Nick.
Event points. Event card points.
Me first. 0, 0, 0, minus 4, minus 4, minus 8.
Okay, so PJ minus 8. I forgot I
Yep.
was supposed to say this out loud. PJ minus 8. Okay.
PJ minus 8.
0.
Damien, 0.
Yes.
Nick, also 0. Okay.
That's
one
gonna hurt.
For each of the points.
That
in
is
your
gonna hurt,
compost
yeah.
pile. Starting with PJ.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in my compost.
PJ, 13. Totally forgot about it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Damien,
Very
12.
I
close.
feel less special.
3.
Nick, 3. And then just because I missed it before, in case it's important for the points on the cards, we had PJ, 34. Damien, 38. Nick,
Okay.
42. Okay. Now we are going to sprout cubes. PJ,
All right. 4, 8, 9, 13, 17, 21.
PJ, 21. Damien,
2, 5, 10, 13.
Damien, 13.
4, 9, 11, 15, 19, 22.
Nick, 22. All right. Now we are going for
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
growth points and then additional growth if you
I
don't
know,
finish
I
it
know.
one per.
Apparently that's just 3 points.
All right.
Growth points. 1, 2, 5, 7,
Anyone else got any end games?
9, another
Nice
4,
one, that was
11.
fun. That's fun.
Wait, 13, 13.
13, yeah.
Not good at math anymore.
PJ has 13 growth points. Okay.
3, 7, 9, 30, 22, 22, 23, 24.
All right, Damien.
Wow.
I immediately forgot what you said.
24.
24. Damien, 24 growth points.
That is a lot of growth.
5, 9, 13, 16, 19, 21, 23, 23.
Nick, 23 growth points.
See, now I have a good,
All right,
a good
Keeping
and
that
terrain
distance.
points. If anybody gets points
Yep.
from, yeah.
2 trees in the row, 3 points each, 6 here. 1 mushroom in the same column, another 3, 9 points total.
9 terrain points for PJ. Okay, Damien.
I have 3 points for every tree adjacent,
So
and 2
many
trees
entry
adjacent
cards.
for 6. Glacier tracing the line starting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for 20 points.
Wow.
Total of 26.
Very
Damien,
well done.
26 terrain points.
I know. You guys are crazy.
The really amazing pasture. 3, 6, 9. This is another
Actually fine.
3.
Yep.
12.
12.
12 terrain points for Nick. Okay.
Apparently
we're
Damien
going
leads
to
Nick
do
by 1
personal
point.
ecosystem.
Alright. I get 3 for every 2 cards that cost 3 or less.
11 points.
1,
Wow.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's only 3, so that's 9 points.
Okay. 9 personal ecosystem points for PJ.
Should have gone the other side,
Yeah, I
but
think
couldn't
I
have
should've
known.
gone the inside either.
Yeah.
4 for every 3 cards with an even victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3 sets for 12.
Does that make you guys
Okay.
discard 2 cards?
12 personal ecosystem points for Damien.
He had so many cards.
9 per
My
colors,
Rider never came
pairs.
out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 3 pairs
27.
for 27.
Yep, brutal.
27 personal ecosystem
That's a big jump
points
again.
for Nick. All right, now we're going to score the top ecosystem.
Nick leading by 4 points
Me?
currently.
Yeah, I wanna-
All 3 columns here are all different, so that is 18.
A lot of power.
18
I was like
ecosystem
doing
1
that, I
points
was
for
like,
PJ.
I'm gonna die. I could have got.
Unfortunately, I only got
I could've
the
got a
one
bunch
column
more if I,
for 6.
Okay,
I had
6
the faction
ecosystem
last
1
one,
points
but I
for
had even
Damien.
more spice to-
Observe the incredible diversity of my board for 24 points.
Yep.
With colors somehow.
Immaculate
Bonkers.
game.
24 ecosystem 1 points for Nick. Ecosystem 2.
Big 4 points, guys. That's you.
No, me?
Just
Yeah,
leave it
sorry.
stretched to
So
about
4 plus
22.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So only 10.
2 sets for 10.
2
10
sets for 10.
ecosystem points. Ecosystem 2 points for PJ.
Yep.
Should have put it to a vote.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Is that how it works, or is it
5, 2
like
sets for
everyone
10.
has to be unanimous?
10 ecosystem 2 points for Damien.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Which is
6.
funny because it's the move.
So
15. I had to show us up there too.
15 ecosystem 2 points for
The
Nick.
guy couldn't get.
All right, we are going to do the fauna cards.
Alright.
Yeah. I had
So
so
me
many-
first.
I showed it to him.
15, 26, 41. 52? Math good? Yep.
Positionality matter? What do we?
30,
It's really just.
52 fauna points for PJ.
A mighty 8.
A respectable 8 fauna points for Damien.
30, 48.
48 fauna points for Nick. And then I will get a calculator because absolutely not. Okay.
Good game. I already know how this is panning out. Writing's on the wall.
So
Yep.
have to do it. I will do it in seat order. So we have
4th ring.
Alright,
How do you
we
feel
go
about
around
it?
congratulating each other.
Pretty good.
Congratulating mostly Nick. It looks
There
like
was a
Nick's
point
gonna have it
halfway through
here.
this game where I drew red Graham.
And you were like,
I win
yes.
this game.
Yeah.
The rate I was going, that's a lifetime.
Yeah, this is. I mean, it was insane for me.
It's a roller
Yeah.
coaster with the scoring, though.
I think my biggest
Up and
mistake was
down.
a red action in the mid game. I should have just planted and just prayed.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I did a red action. I should have done blue.
Yes, I had the same thought.
I personally got 1 more soil. I'm like, I might need that 1 more soil, but I really would have been safe with.
Now there's a little post-game
Yeah.
discussion.
And it goes with that, where I should have played that, then done the blue, then had that card draw. I struggling to find colors, struggling to find things that were even, and things were like they were even, but they don't have the 2, or they're. It's.
Yeah.
I was struggling to find the right cards.
I planned. When I played this was like my 6th card. This is my 6th card right here. I planned on like I think it was like you planted. I planned on essentially like pivoting into like yellow, and I was gonna like jam yellow for the condor. But then you played
White oak.
white oak in response or whatever, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, that ruins that plan.
Yeah. Yeah. Any advice for us, Nick?
I mean, you
got so
these
much
draws
planting.
were nuts.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely nuts. So I flipping.
I do love that they're all talking about what they did well, what they didn't
Yeah.
do, what they should have done, how they pivoted or
6
didn't,
points because it's 2
and then
things.
asking for advice
Plus
from
4
the
nets. So this is a
perceived
10.5
player.
point,
We'll find out in a
0
minute.
cost card.
Yeah.
Who there
Like
is, but
14%.
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
waiting on the
Yeah,
judge to
exactly.
come back
Like, it just-
with
and
some
then I
final
drew,
numbers.
This, when I had planned on playing this, And it's like this was just better because it was the extra black. It was like easier to trigger. Like that was the turn that was spending a really long time because there's like something else that I like could have taken and maybe played here that was like smart.
It was an
better.
extra black. Sorry, what'd you mean by that?
Sorry, I meant like
Why was it better?
black because it said the color.
Oh,
black.
the color.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
All
So
right.
the final results. I'm gonna try that again.
Can we start with third?
So
I feel
yeah,
a
so
little better.
the final results
Yep.
are going to be 149 points for Damien in third place. We have 171 points for PJ in second place.
Nick broke
And
200, I
then we
bet.
have 216 points
Yep.
to Nicholas for the ring win of Earth. Congratulations, Nick.
Thanks,
Fourth
guys.
ring.
Very good game.
Congratulations.
Very impressive.
Excellent, excellent.
Yep.
Super, super good.
Great.
Your elephant will have another ring to guard.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
is? Does he have a name?
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
Maybe
He's just the
maybe
good
he's
looking
earned one.
Yeah.
Because
Carrying
Nick has
Last
an
year I
elephant
brought his
guardian.
son, and then I brought the big
For
boy
his
this
many,
year.
many
He
rings.
is- Homie does not
I
mind.
guess so. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, makes it 8 final tables for Nick, 4 rings.
So that's batting 500.
That's if he shows up at your final table, it's a scary, scary proposition. And congratulations to him and the rest of the players as well. They put up a tremendous game there. Even Damien, who was looking a little out of it, was putting up some big numbers there at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what really seemed to help Nick was that his personal scoring objective
Right.
also dealt with those colors.
Yeah.
And so he's able to kind of siphon energy into both of those. But just a lot of good plays, managing misplays. It kind of
Correct.
seemed to be the point of the discussion there at the end.
Yeah, which is very interesting. Oh, I should have done this. This one's clearly better. I should have pivoted. And that's fascinating. And getting to hear that, for us getting to hear that, for you getting to hear that, it's just, fascinating glimpse into the mind of these players.
All right, folks. That is all of the finals for today. Let's see. There'll be the announcements of all the other ones tomorrow morning. So at 8:15, 8:30 or so, make sure to stream. Come back to the first stream of the day, which will be the kind of the opening ceremonies, and you'll get to see the update on all of the other finals that happened during
right.
the day today. But then, yeah, tomorrow is a full day. A lot of streams. The interview with
It
Matthias
is.
Viga, Tom's
Tom's playing Cosmic Encounter with some folks, so you get to see that. And then, of course, later in the day, you'll get to see the Splendor finals streamed. And then
Castles of
I
Burgundy.
know I'll be back for Castles of Burgundy doing this very job, telling you about that. We'll have a winner there.
All right, folks. Thanks so much for coming by. The World Series of Board Gaming here on the Dice Tower. You all have a great evening.